So, karma. I was listening to a Buddhist podcast today around karma, and I have got the answer from 101 Answers from the Universe in my book around karma. And I was actually quite intrigued and surprised at the version of karma that I have been receiving. And also, it's very much in line with what Buddhism will talk about karma. But as I was listening to the podcast, I got even more information internally. As you know, I get these voices in my head, and I've been checked. I'm not crazy. And the voices told, or the thought source told me, God, whatever you want to call it, is that this karma is a multitude of levels, and there's 3 levels of karma. And the one level is our own personal karma, and there's good and bad karma, or there's comfortable and uncomfortable karma. There's lessons and gifts in karma. There's your environmental, in your own environment karma, which is your family, your friends, your your social circle, as well as your community. And then there's global karma, and that is how does it affect what the choices you make, the thoughts that you have, the actions that you exhibit. How does this affect the everyone globally, the universe, source, everything? How does it affect that? And this can get quite complicated. It's not easy just to talk about in 15 minutes or so, but I will give you sort of the rundown around it. Now, the one thing around karma for in Buddhism is that what you reap is what you sow, basically. So every action that you take, thought, words, inaction that you take is going to have a cause and effect. And that cause and effect can happen immediately, or it can happen in a domino effect or somewhere down the road. Now, in religious texts, this would be more of like mortal sin, right? You've done something, there's some kind of a God up there that's taking notes, and when you get to the pearly gates, you're going to be either rewarded or you will be reprimanded and punished for your sins. And this is a great, a very fearful approach to it, but it basically comes down to saying the same thing. You know, your actions are going to create a reaction and is going to affect energy in general. Energy. There will be payback, there will be consequences, there will be rewards, there will be a sense of gratitude, a good feeling, a sense of being omnipresence with one, depending how deep we go here. The idea is personally, and guilt is a great barometer. It's not the most healthy barometer, but guilt is a barometer around karma. Also, feeling embarrassed or being hard on yourself. Why did I do this? Why am I like this? What's wrong with me? These are barometers of knowing that you are probably exhibiting some essence of bad karma, or karma that is not going to be favorable or have the worst results or the best results. So in Buddhism, what we practice is when you're making a decision, you're going to make a choice, your reaction to a situation, a person, etc. Is it going to matter today? Is it going to matter 6 days from now? Will it matter 6 months from now? Will it matter 5 years from now? Will it matter 50 years from now? Will it matter 100 years from now? And there are some that will definitely make a difference immediately. Yes, there is intergenerational karma. That's a great question, Jolie. And I will mention what that is in a moment as well. Now, For instance, if I've decided to be an environmentalist, then the choices that I make in the products that I may purchase could affect the environment. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not a couple of years from now, but definitely 50 to 100 years from now, it's going to affect that. And some of the examples would be anything that's coming from the rainforest, and palm oil, and things that are coming from the oceans as well. These are going to affect. And if this is your interest, your passion, then you're going to look at those types of long term karma. Short term karma is my my friend pissed me off, canceled a get together at the last minute. She's done it before. I'm angry, and I'm going to let her know. Right? This is definitely going to have immediate effects. But then you look at the long term one. Will it affect me in a year from now? Or let's say 6 days from now, 6 months from now, a year from now, or 2 years from now? If you want to maintain this friendship, if that person is in your circle, regardless if you're friends or not, if there's a family member, it will have these more intermediate effects on your life. Now, if you're ready to completely let go for whatever reason, then you'll be fine with it. If not, then there's more to ponder, and it's not valuable for you to react immediately because there will be karma, there will be effects of that. And so when you sit with that, because you realize, well, I'm not sure if I really want her pissed off at me for the next 6 months, or I don't want her to tell my brother in law, or I don't want her to complain to my mother, etc., then it will force you, the awareness of karma will force you to sit with it for a while, right? And this is good. Now, if you've done a lot of good things, you're helpful to people, you validate people, you volunteer, you don't let out, you work on yourself, you give people a helping hand when you can. What maybe in your job you might do this, etc. Then you're learning from your bad responses, your difficult and challenges, you're learning from them. That's good karma too. You can make a mistake, you can have a bad day, and you can still reap rewards by immediately having awareness and working on changing that behavior. Obviously, behavioral changes don't happen immediately, but this is what you aspire to do, and this is good karma. And it's an energy. Karma is an actual energy field, right? There's this, just like what Dr. Emoto has done with the water energy. You can look up his work, and negative sound and even words taped on glass, which was crystallized in a frozen form, was uh, dark in color and grayed and browned and very distorted, very ugly shapes in that crystallization. And positive music and positive words, etc., was having beautiful, clear, blue, white, crystallized, angelic like snowflake crystallization, and was gorgeous and beautiful to the eye. Works of art, really. And we're made of water. And so this karma, negative karma to positive karma, is creating these kind of responses. Then there is your immediate environment karma, and your actions may affect your neighborhood, it might affect your family members, it might affect the workplace, right? If you come in miserable every day, maybe nobody's going to say anything to you, and everybody leaves you alone. But then there's this domino effect that they might go home upset, they might go home miserable, then their husband might get that reaction, or their children might be reprimanded when they shouldn't have because they've had a bad day. And this is more of a global karma, environmental um, karma, that in your environment that you may never really see the direct negative karmic reactions from it, but indirectly you will. So let's say you walk into your doctor's office and the receptionist there gives you a really, really hard time. And you have no idea why. You come in nice, you're pleasant, you're maybe low energy, that's why you're going there. And this one rips you a new one like you've never had that experience before. You have no idea the ripple effect. Now, it may not directly have come from you, it might come from another pool of negative karma origin, but they all come from that same. They all end up in the same place and they all domino effect from that location. And then there's the global one, like I had mentioned, if you're really watching a lot of negative news, right? And you enjoy that negative news and you're always going down that rabbit hole trying to find more negative, more negative, more negative news, then first of all, that feeds the the source of that news. So if quite a few people are doing that, then they have a good reason to stay delivering negative news. So this is a more of a global, and again, like I said, if you're gonna want to save the rainforest, then you're going to look at the effects of what you're consuming. So, intergenerational karma is a very good question. And then after that, Jolie, I would like to have your question astrologically, and Wafa, if you do too, but otherwise, I'll just give you guys what I see. Intergenerational karma is one thing with Buddhism is we also believe in reincarnation. And reincarnation, we pass karma on. So whatever you've done in a past life, it's coming to get you in this life, good or bad. And I see that in my Pluto cycles, transitional cycles, when I am doing a reading on a deep, deep level with my clients. And if you're going through what's called either a karmic or a soul rebirth, which is a very pleasant karmic credit experience. Sorry, no. Oh my gosh, that's the opposite. It's more of a challenging letting go of blocks and bad behavioral patterns that no longer serve you, which is a negative karmic debt. And then there's a karmic credit, which is you have done wonderful, beautiful things in a past life. Maybe you have learned or discovered new talents and gifts as well, or you have graduated from into a specific gift or niche. And so when I see a karmic credit happening or a soul ascension, then this is a time frame. They're usually about 2 years long. And I know when they start, I know when they finish, and I know the dates in between, which you can cash in. And this is when you cash in on that karmic credit and you're able to present these gifts to the world in one way or another, whatever they may be. And life changes drastically for either one of them. And we also let go of a lot of soul family members, and we don't let them, and that's the intergenerational karma. So if you've got, let's say, like I've got a client who belongs to a very strong cultural environment, cultural background. And in this culture, the parents have a hierarchy, whether they're pleasant or not parents, but they have a hierarchy and they demand a certain amount of respect. And they demand that that she does things the way that she should according to their religion and their culture. And she no longer wants to be in this type of environment. She finds it demeaning, insulting, unpleasant. They don't respect her, but they demand respect, and they have high expectations that she can't ever seem to reach because they keep upping the bar, etc., etc. There's a lot of drama in the family, and so this is more of an integrational karma. It's really difficult. She's finding it very difficult to leave this because this is her mama, this is her papa, this is her sister, this is her auntie, this is her uncle, and she feels like if I don't have my family dynamic, who am I? I'm not lovable, I'm not acceptable, I don't belong to my tribe anymore. And but they eventually, when you're with a soul rebirth, that's when it's difficult, you have to leave that tribe. You eventually have to leave the tribe. But what I like to tell my clients is they're not your family members. They probably were not your family members, but you put them in place in the roles of your family members in this lifetime so that you had close proximity to these soul family members so that you could really finally cut the cord because they are holding you back. And in essence, you are holding them back as well because they are hyper focusing on the drama or trauma and the interconnectivity of this push and pull relationship. You're not severing it by moving forward, and therefore they're also stuck where they are as well. Okay, so that's the more of